आणि त्या ब्रांचच्या संयुक्त विद्यमाने या सर्व डिपार्टमेंटच्या वतीनं आज विद्यार्थ्यांसाठी एक आगळी वेगळी संधी, एक आगळी वेगळी मेजवानी या निमित्तानं आम्ही घेऊन आलेलो आहोत. या स्टुडंटसाठी आयोजित केलेल्या वेबिनारचं टायटल आहे अपॉर्च्युनिटीज ओव्हरसीज. आणि या वेबिनार मध्ये आज आपल्याला लाभलेले आजचे जे चीफ गेस्ट आहेत, ज्यांचं मार्गदर्शन आपण ऐकणार आहात, ते मिस्टर अमोल उनुने सर यांचं आपल्या सर्वांच्या वतीनं, महाविद्यालयाच्या वतीनं, केंद्राच्या वतीनं मी सहर्ष स्वागत करतो. त्याचबरोबर आदरणीय सर देशमुख मॅडम, ज्यांच्या सहयोगानं आपल्याला हे आयोजन करता येतंय, त्यांचंही मी महाविद्यालयाच्या वतीनं मनपूर्वक स्वागत करतो. सर देशमुख मॅडमचे सहकारी ज्यांनी गोडबोले सर असतील, अजून इतर सहकारी असतील, या सर्वांनी या कार्यक्रमासाठी इनिशिएटिव्ह घेतलं, सहकार्य केलं, त्यांचंही मी या कार्यक्रमामध्ये मनपूर्वक स्वागत करतो. सर्व शिक्षक बंधू भगिनी, महाविद्यालयातील स्पर्धा परीक्षा मार्गदर्शन केंद्राचे कोऑर्डिनेटर आदरणीय डॉक्टर आर.व्ही. शिंदे सर, तसेच प्राध्यापिका डॉक्टर व्ही.व्ही. शागालुलू मॅडम, त्याचबरोबर डॉक्टर एच.डी. देशमुख सर, जे आपल्याकडे प्लेसमेंट सेलचे इन्चार्ज आहेत, त्यांचंही मनपूर्वक स्वागत या कार्यक्रमामध्ये मी करतो. मित्र, तुम्हा सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांचंही या कार्यक्रमामध्ये मनपूर्वक स्वागत करतो. या कार्यक्रमाची रूपरेषा, या कार्यक्रमाच्या पाठीमागचं, संयोजनाच्या पाठीमागची भूमिका काय आहे, हे आपल्या सर्वांच्या पुढे मांडण्यासाठी दयानंद स्पर्धा परीक्षा मार्गदर्शन केंद्राचे समन्वयक आदरणीय डॉक्टर आर.व्ही. शिंदे सर यांना मी प्रस्तावना करण्यासाठी आमंत्रित करतो. सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांना सूचना आहे, इतर सर्वांना सूचना आहे की कृपा करून आपण म्यूट करून द्यावं.
नमस्कार सर्वांना. आपल्या दयानंद कला व शास्त्र महाविद्यालयाचे प्रतिभावान प्रशासक, बुद्धिमान प्राचार्य विजयकुमार सर, आजचे प्रमुख अतिथी मार्गदर्शक श्रीमान अमोल उनोने सर, सर देशमुख मॅडम आणि त्यांचे सहकारी, माझे सहकारी डॉक्टर रविराज रणवरे सर, प्राध्यापिका शागालुलू मॅडम, एन सायंटिस्ट श्याम देशमुख सर, सर्व सहभागी विद्यार्थी आणि अर्थातच आपले आजचे टेक्निकल असिस्ट करणारे आपले सचिन सोनवणे, सर्वांना पुन्हा एकदा नमस्कार. मित्रहो, जग तीव्र स्पर्धेचे होत चाललेले आहे आणि ही स्पर्धा केवळ स्थानिक पातळीवरची नाही, ही आंतरराष्ट्रीय पातळीवरची स्पर्धा कालांतराने तुम्हाला फेस करावी लागणार आहे. मी जेव्हा शिकायला होतो तेव्हा, किंवा रणवरे सर शिकायला होते, देशमुख सर शिकायला होते तेव्हा, काळातील स्पर्धा वेगळी आहे. शागालुलू मॅडम आमचा काळ, रणवरे सर यांचा काळ आणि आता तुम्ही ऐकणारे विद्यार्थी या काळामध्ये वेगळ्या स्वरूपाची स्पर्धा आहे. आम्ही फक्त फॉरेन रिटर्न हा शब्द ऐकला की चेकाळून जायचो आणि जाईपर्यंत त्याच्याकडे पाहायचो. आता फॉरेन रिटर्न या शब्दालाच महत्व राहिलेलं नाहीये, परंतु वेगळ्या अर्थाने त्याला एक महत्व आलेलं आहे. बाहेरच्या जगाकडे फिरण्यासाठी जावे आणि बाहेरच्या जगात शिकण्यासाठी जावे, नोकरीसाठी जावे, याला काही एक वेगळा अर्थ आहे, वेगळी प्रतिष्ठा आहे. विद्यार्थी स्थानिक पातळीवर स्पर्धा करून साधने मिळवतो, लाईव्हलीहूड मिळवतो, पण बाहेर जाऊन काही कमावणे पदवी कमवणे, इतर गोष्टी अर्जित करणे या तितक्याच प्रतिष्ठेच्या होत चाललेल्या आहेत. बाहेर जाण्यासाठी काही आपल्याला परिचित प्रोफाईल वगैरे एवढ्याच काही परीक्षा परिचित आहेत, पण याशिवाय काही वेगवेगळ्या संस्थांच्या पातळीवरून बाहेर शिकण्यासाठी, तिथे विद्यार्जन करण्यासाठी, तिथे राहण्यासाठी, छोटे मोठे प्रोजेक्ट घेण्यासाठी किंवा छोट्या छोट्या काळाचे कोर्सेस करण्यासाठी वेगवेगळ्या संस्था भारताबाहेर आपल्याकडे, आपल्या देशातही मदत करत राहतात. पूर्वी हे शक्य नव्हतं, व्यक्तिगत हे शक्य नव्हतं. त्यामुळे तिकडच्या संस्था काही एक स्कॉलरशिप देत असतात, पण ते आपल्याला माहित नसतं. आपल्याकडील भारतातील ही संस्था काही स्कॉलरशिप्स वगैरे देत असतात, बिनव्याजी कर्ज देतात, काही अल्पव्याजी कर्ज देतात. काही संस्था, काही कंपनी पुढे येत असतात. या सगळ्यापासून आपण अनभिज्ञ असतो. तर याची माहिती आपल्या विद्यार्थ्यांना व्हावी यासाठी अर्न अँड लर्न ओव्हरसीज लिमिटेड शाखा सोलापूर यांचे कार्यवाहक हे आपल्या इथे आज आलेले आहेत. दयानंद स्पर्धा परीक्षा मार्गदर्शन केंद्र यांच्या आणि अर्न अँड लर्न ओव्हरसीज लिमिटेड शाखा सोलापूर यांच्या संयुक्तपणे हा कार्यक्रम आयोजित केलेला आहे. आणि बाहेरील देशात जाऊन शिकण्याची संधी याच्याविषयी जागृती निर्माण करण्यासाठी ही संस्था आपलं कार्य करते. आणि हे तसं फार मोलाचं काम आहे. काही अंशी याला आपण मोठे काम, उदात्त काम म्हणूया, कारण या गोष्टीपासून लांब असलेल्या मुलांना जर ही माहिती मिळाली तर जाण्यासाठी जी काही मुलांची विवंचना असते, प्रश्न असतात, हे प्रश्न लिहिलया सहजतया सुटून जातात. या प्रकारची जागृती निर्माण होणे गरजेचं आहे. ही संस्था उन्हाळे सर देशमुख मॅडम मोठ्या रसिकतेने, आवडीने हे काम करत आहेत. त्यांचं आपण पहिल्यांदा स्वागत करूया. आपल्या इथे येऊन विद्यार्थ्यांना या बाबतीत काही उद्बोधन करीत आहेत. त्यामुळे त्यांचं या बाबतीत आपल्या महाविद्यालयामध्ये म्हणूया, त्यांचं स्वागत करूया. अमोल उन्हाळे सर आता बोलणार आहेत साधारण 1.5 तास. त्यामध्ये प्रश्नांचं स्वरूपी असेल. मुलांनी प्रश्न विचारावे, त्यांना काय शंका आहेत त्या शंकाही विचाराव्यात. यासोबतच उन्हाळे सरांना माझी एक विनंती असेल की नोकरीला लागलेले किंवा शिक्षक प्राध्यापक असलेले लोक अब्रॉडला जाऊ शकतील का, काही स्कॉलरशिप घेऊन शिकू शकतात का, त्यांचं स्वरूप काय असतं, हेही थोडंसं सांगावं अशी मी त्यांना विनंती करतो. मी पुन्हा एकदा सर्वांचं स्वागत करतो. सर्व सहभागी विद्यार्थ्यांचं अभिनंदन करतो की तुम्हाला एक वेगळी माहिती मिळणार आहे. ती व्यवस्थित ध्यानपूर्वक ऐका आणि तुम्हाला ती तत्काळ उपयोगाची आहे. मी पुन्हा सर्वांचं स्वागत करतो. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद सर. एकूणच कार्यक्रमाची जी योजना आखलेली आहे त्याच्या पाठीमागचं भूमिका काय आहे आपण स्पष्ट केल्याबद्दल आपले या ठिकाणी विशेष कौतुक आणि आभार व्यक्त करतो. यानंतर आजचे जे आपले चीफ गेस्ट आहेत त्यांची ओळख करून देण्यासाठी मी आदरणीय प्राध्यापिका डॉक्टर व्ही शागालुलू मॅडम यांना विनंती करतो की त्यांनी आजचे आपले गेस्ट आहेत त्यांचं ओळख सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांना करून द्यावी. ओव्हर टू यू मॅम.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Dr. Shagalolu Bibi, DBF Dayanand College of Arts and Science, Solapur. I feel proud and honored to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Amol Ashok Unune. He is one of the founder member of Ashiraj Education Overseas Consultant in London, UK. He holds bachelor degree in mechanical engineering and MBA in HRD along with diploma in labor law and personal management from Business School London. He is also the member of Chartered Institute of Personal Development, that is CIPD in London. He has around 20 plus years experience into international recruitment for various cultural exchange programs and overseas educational programs. He serves a major contact point to his clients in USA, New Zealand, UK, and Europe. He is one of the best speakers and has been invited by many institutions for his valuable guidance. Hence, we are all lucky to have such a dynamic, qualified personality with us. I am sure all our students will be benefited by his guidance. Now, we also have with us today Mr. Abhijit Gokhale. Since last 25 years, he is looking after Keshri Tours and Travels. He also facilitates currency exchange, passport, and visa facility for the aspirants. And today we also have with us Mrs. Vandana Kopkar Sardeshmukh Madam. She is the past president of Rotary Club Solapur North. Since last 27 years, she has experience in teaching chemistry at UG and PG level. She is SET qualified and has many research papers at her end. She is enthusiastic and very dedicated at her work. She has conducted various programs at our college level related to health and anemia checkup. She has also organized the lectures related to heritage of Solapur. And both of them together, in collaboration with each other, they are running a study abroad consultancy center with Ashiraj Overseas Study Center at Solapur. This is the only one center which is helping for the placement for the students. And since last 9 years, they have sent nearly 2,300 students abroad to 10 to 12 countries in the world. So we are all very lucky. We are having a very good team with us who will help our aspiring students to make their dream come true and give them the opportunity to go abroad. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Over to Ranavre, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, as we are meeting online, so we cannot offer bouquet, shawl, stripper, everything that is with our tradition, but we can just virtually felicitate today's chief guest. And with this slide, I extend a very warm welcome to today's chief resource person, Mr. Amol Unune, sir. So this is a formal welcome to you from our side, sir.
Thank you very much.
Once again, I welcome you, sir, and on behalf of the principal of the college, on behalf of the college and organizing committee, this is a bouquet of flower that we are offering to you. And after this formal virtual welcome, now I hand over the charge of this session to Mr. Amol Unone, sir, and all students, you are requested to mute yourself and just listen. And if you have any doubt in your mind, note it down. And then later, at the end of his session, we will give 10 minutes for question and answer session. At that time, you can ask any sort of question to the resource person. सो मित्रांनो, विद्यार्थ्यांनी सगळ्यांनी म्यूट करायचंय आणि अमोल उन्हने सरांचं संपूर्ण प्रेझेंटेशन काळजीपूर्वक ऐकायचंय. ऐकत असताना तुम्हाला काही शंका असतील, प्रश्न असतील तर ते नोट करून ठेवा. आणि शेवटच्या 10 मिनिटांमध्ये आपण प्रश्न उत्तराचा सेशन ठेवलेला आहे. तिथं तुम्ही तुमच्या सर्व शंका आजचे जे रिसोर्स पर्सन आहेत उन्होंने सर त्यांना विचारू शकाल. I request Unone sir to take charge of this session and start his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. First of all, I would really like to take this opportunity and thank everyone for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to present to the college management and the students the opportunities for studying overseas and the career opportunities what the students can avail after their study programs. So a sincere thank to the college management of DPF Dayanand College of Arts and Science Solapur, and a special thanks for all the faculty members who have done a very good introduction about today's webinar and have also given me the honor of doing a very short webinar on study abroad and career opportunities. So we will have a session of around 45 minutes today, and in this 45 minutes we will try to see like how exactly the study abroad services could be taken up. If there are any students who want to travel overseas on study options, so what are the possible routes through which they can travel overseas, what are the options they can take up, and what kind of job opportunities they can have after completing their studies. So when we speak about study overseas, it is all about, you know, your dream of traveling abroad on a study abroad program. So first of all, I would like to have a very brief introduction about our organization. Following to that, I would also like to I would like you to note the address of our center at Solapur, and then at a later stage we would discuss what are the options what we have for the students, and then we can try to get some questions on board and we can answer them one by one. So first of all, I would like to introduce like who Ashiraj is, the background what we come from, and where are we exactly located, and how our services can benefit all the students of your institute. So this is a very small presentation what we have done. So just give me a minute. Yes, so this is about us. I'm pretty sure like everybody can see this slide. So when we speak about Ashiraj Education Overseas Consultant, so let me introduce about our organization. So Ashiraj Education Overseas Consultant Private Limited is a private limited organization that was started in the year 2012. Me, that is Amol Unune, and my other partner, Mr. Abhay Das, we together have started this organization. So we are the founder members and directors of this organization, where we started this company in the year 2012. So prior to that, that is me and my other partner, we were based in London, UK and USA for a few years. And we have also studied there in UK and USA. And specifically speaking about me, I hold a mechanical engineering degree along with MBA in Human Resource Management, a Master's in Human Resource Management from Middlesex University Business School, London, Diploma in Labour Laws, Diploma in Industrial Relations, and a second Master's, which I did from London again, which was MCIPD through the MCIPD body in London. So since last 16 to 17 years, I had been into this field of recruitment, and through this, we have been able to set up a very good network of consultants, as well as types with many institutes across India, and we have helped many students, as ma'am mentioned to you a few minutes ago, that we have sent around 2,300 plus students overseas in last 9 years of time. So where are we based? As I said, Ashiraj Education Overseas Consultants was established in 2012. So on 25th February 2012, 2021, we just completed, that is the day before yesterday, 2 days before, we completed our 9th year. So we are in the 10th year of our operations. We have 4 offices as such. Our main office is located in Mumbai, that is our head office in Ghatkopar West. Alongside, we have 3 branch offices. One is in Pune, the second is in Satara city, and then we have one more branch office in Jaipur city. Apart from this, we have around 38 centers right now, which are operating from 5 different states. So I'm going very slow. The reason because I just want you to understand like who we are and what kind of services we bring on board. So as I said, we have 4 offices. Our head office is in Mumbai, branch office is in Pune, Satara and Jaipur. And we are currently operating from 5 different states, which are Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. So these are the 5 states currently we are operating from, and we have centers which are around 38 right now. So we have 38 centers and 4 offices. So we have our presence in 42 locations right now. Solapur center is one of those centers. So out of 38 centers, Solapur center is one of those centers. The name of our center there is Learn and Earn Foreign Education Services. This center is being managed by our colleagues, Mr. Abhijit Gokhale sir and Vandana Kopkar ma'am. So they are in charge of the centers. They are the owners of the centers, and they will be able to guide all the students from your areas for overseas education option. Now, when we talk about our milestone, if you could see here, we started in the year 2012, and until 2020, we were in a position to have our network across 5 different states. And currently, as I said, we are operating through 42 locations. Apart from this, we have helped more than 2,300 plus students who had been overseas on different programs. And currently, we are holding a proper MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding, with more than 100 universities across India. So we get students from all over the India. So we had been recruiting from Mumbai, Pune, Sangli, Satara, Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal, like then Goa, Delhi, Orissa. I mean, you just name a state, and we had been sending students from almost everywhere across the India. Okay, what are the options we do? So our business basically has 4 segments. One is sending students on overseas study options. That is one part. Just a
Excuse
kind
me.
request.
Amal sir,
Yes,
may I just disturb for a moment?
yes.
Shagalulu madam, you are requested to mute yourself. Shagalulu madam, would you please mute yourself? Please mute yourself, ma'am.
Mute केले sir.
No, your voice is disturbing the class. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. And Sachin Sonone, sir, you are requested to let the students come in because so many students have called me and they are waiting to admin to let them in. सचिन सर कृपा करून जे विद्यार्थी वेटिंग मध्ये आहेत त्यांना आतमध्ये घ्या, कारण ते पोरांचे मला फोन येऊ लागलेले आहेत. खूप मुलं मला फोन करू लागलेत की ते वेटिंग रूम मध्ये आहेत, ते जॉईन होत नाहीयेत. तर तुम्हाला विनंती आहे सचिन सर, कृपा करून त्यांना जॉईन करून घ्या. सॉरी फॉर डिस्टर्बन्स सर. You can
No
continue.
problem. We'll wait for 2 minutes. Is that okay? So that at least people can
You
join.
just continue, sir. You sir continue, sir, please.
Okay, fine. So I was just making a comment here that we started in the year 2012, and by 2020 we have our presence in 42 different locations. Now we are into 4 segments of our business. So the first segment, which is more of an interest to your students right now, which is sending student on overseas education options. So on the one side of our business, we cater to students requirement where they travel on study options which can be taken in different countries like UK, USA, New Zealand, Europe, Canada. You name a country in the world and we will be able to place the student on that study visa. So that is the first side of our business. Second side of our business is doing immigration activities. What does immigration mean? Immigration is kind of activity through which the student will be able to travel to a foreign destination and settle there permanently. So he will be able to get the citizenship of that country. So we are also into immigration activities where we do immigration programs for countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and UK at the moment. apart from this, there is a third category where we had been very, very successful in last 8 years of time, where we have MOUs with different hotels across the world. These are all top brand hotels, 5-star, 6-star hotels, whether it is in UK, USA, Canada, New Zealand, where our hotel management students from India, they go on a cultural exchange program where they get certain kind of stipend, and then they travel on to these countries for specific, internships. And the fourth segment, what we do is more into investor and business visas. If somebody is really wanting to settle down abroad and want to take up a settled business in any countries, we can offer business visas and investor visas through which they can get the citizenship. At the same time, they can acquire or they can take over a good existing business in that specific country. So that is our fourth side of business. But today, I think the discussion is going to be more on the first part, which is study abroad options for your students and what are the career opportunities, what they can see after they land in those countries. Okay, so I gave you a very short introduction about Ashiraj. Ashiraj is 10-year-old brand where we are located in 5 different states and currently operating through 42 different locations. Importantly, we specialize in all the services which are more to do with study abroad, permanent residency, that is immigration, settlement via investor and business visas, and then sending students on cultural exchange options. Okay, now today I think let us more focus on study abroad options and the opportunities what the student can have when they think about traveling overseas. Okay, now see, when it comes to a, any country, okay, when it comes to any country and when we speak about any options where the student want to go, so what are the countries the student have to target and what kind of requirements basically the student will need to fit into, and apart from this, what could be the budget, what are the scholarships for students, what are the age criterias, and how do they settle in that specific country after completing their education. So these are the questions what normally come into the mind of a student when they aim for a study option. Okay, so we will see this in depth now. So this discussion would be more sort of a discussion focusing on what kind of options the student can travel, what kind of opportunities they could see while they are studying, what kind of universities would they get into, and what could be the post-study options, and what could be the funding and how could be the returns on the investment towards the education options. So this is something what we would study today, or we would be discussing this today. Now, when we speak about study abroad options, now I am given an idea that this college is running various arts program at the same time, n number of programs under the science category. So I believe like there could be students who are in the bachelor's, somebody who is in the second year of bachelor's or third year of bachelor's. So my focus of you know uh, counseling would be more sort of for the students who are in the second and third year of the study program. So if somebody is in the second year of BA or second year of BSc, similarly somebody who is in the third year of BA or third year of BSc, and for those who are master students, we can also have a number of options where the student can go for a PhD program or they can also go for a second master's. Now in my case, I did one master's in India and then I did my 2 other masters in UK. So it could happen that somebody who is currently doing a master's in India could also aim for doing a second master's overseas, because it is always a benefit when a student studies abroad. Now let us see like what kind of opportunities we bring on board. So when we talk about study abroad options, so what does study abroad mean? So study abroad is basically, doing a degree program or a master's program overseas. Now, if a student is in the bachelor's program right now, you people can get down to any country in the world for a master's program. If somebody is in the 11th and 12th standard right now, they can also travel for a bachelor's program. So ideally for your students right now or for you people, I think the entry routes could be either going for a bachelor's program. This is somebody, or this is for someone who is in the 11th and 12th standard right now, or it could be traveling on a master's program for students who are on the bachelor's program right now. So our focus of intention is going to be, explaining what kind of services we bring on board for study abroad options. So when we speak about entry routes, the student can travel for doing a bachelor's in a foreign destination, or a student can think about doing a master's in international location. So first of all, let us understand like what is the criteria of doing a bachelor's or master's degree. First of all, I would just like to have some more information. So today, the students who are attending the presentation, are they from 11th standard, 12th standard, or are they only from the degree background? So how is that? So accordingly, I can just keep my focus for the presentation. Hello.
Yes, can be degree background, sir. Also.
Only degree background, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have,
Ranadre, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Degree background.
okay, only degree background.
Some students from PG also, they will be listening to this webinar.
Okay, fine. So now see, for students who are in the degree background, they can always think about traveling overseas and taking a master's degree, and students who are on the PC background, they can always go for a master's program. So that is not a concern, or they can also travel for a PhD program. PhDs are a little bit difficult, and we can discuss that case by case basis, but I think the discussion should be more inclined towards how you can take a master's in a foreign destination. And then I can also cover some PhD programs, what can be taken, but then I think let us keep ourselves restricted for master's admission. Okay. So here, when the student think about doing a master's in a foreign destination, so first of all, we need to think like what is the specific requirement of doing a master's program overseas. So is that affordable? What is the costing? What is the funding? What is the document? And what kind of tests are to be taken? So when you talk about any foreign destination, okay, and when you talk about any foreign degree, the first thing what you need to have is having a valid passport. So that is the first thing what every student should have in their hand. So I'm just going from very scratch because I just want you to understand about a specific requirement for doing a specific program in a specific country. So the first thing what you need to have in hand is having a valid passport from the Indian government. That is the number one condition. Second condition is you need to understand like what are the intakes of doing a master's program in foreign country. Now in India, the academic year is normally conducted between June till April, following year April, right? So ideally our academic session every year starts in June for 1 year, and in the following year that session ends in April. But in foreign country, there are many countries where we could have multiple intakes. So what does this mean? Now when we talk about a country like England, the study programs start in the month of September. There are certain universities where admissions start, and then the student can start their program either in September or even in January or even in March. Okay, so the student can have 3 intake dates. So if you are a student wanting to travel to a country like UK, you can always do this entry routes in 3 different months. You can either travel in the month of September, that is the course will start in September. The course can also start in Jan. The course can also start in March. And this is the same what is applicable to other countries like Canada, Ireland, New Zealand. So ideally every country will have 3 to 4 academic sessions. So in India, our academic session is normally conducted once in a year. In foreign country, the academic sessions are normally conducted 2 to 3 times in a year. So with this, what happens is, even if you're preparing for your exams and if you're not able to get into a specific university for say September intake, you always have your chances of getting into the second university in the second intake. So in this way, we will not waste 1 year of time. Now say for example, if somebody is doing a 12th standard program, and if they want to do a MBBS abroad, say a country like say Georgia, once in a year in India, the admission for MBBS is conducted, but in those countries, the student can have multiple intakes and then they can travel in n number of months. So that should not be a problem. So the best part of studying overseas is you get multiple intakes, and if you are a student really wanting to fulfill your dream of traveling overseas and studying into a good institution, we can offer multiple intakes. So that is the first thing what you have to understand. So first thing is having a passport, as I said. Second is, as I told you, like what academic years we or what academic sessions we can conduct. So first, you need to have a passport. Second, I spoke about academic sessions which are normally conducted in every country. So academic sessions are always open for 2 to 3 times in a year. Fine. Now let us see like what all countries we are doing. So if you are a student and if you want to travel to any country on a master's or a PhD program or even a bachelor's program, at present on the map, on the world map, whatever countries you can see, we are doing all those countries. So if you ask me about taking a master's degree in English speaking country, I would refer UK, USA, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, and States. So these are 5, 6 English speaking countries. Apart from this, there are other countries where the student can also travel, which are low budget countries. Say for example, Italy, we are doing a free education in Italy, free education in Germany. So all this can be done at a very low cost. And there are some countries in Gulf, like say Dubai, and even if you go to say Southeast Asia, like Thailand, Singapore, and then some African countries like Mauritius. So we have many options. So if you were to ask me about what kind of countries we can offer for students if they want to do their master's program or bachelor's or PhD programs, we have a basket of options that would start from English speaking countries, just to name a few, like UK, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, USA, okay, and non-English speaking countries in Europe like Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, France. So all these are very good countries in Italy. And if you want some low budget options, we can always go back and see some options in say Singapore. We can go back to Mauritius. We can study in Thailand, Malaysia. So these are all low budget options. Okay, so these are the countries what we offer. Now let us see like what are the costings which are involved in taking the education program. Now, when we talk about a master's program in India, now say for example, a plain MBA in India, any institution, if you study in Pune or Mumbai, some top schools, the average fee for 1 year is around 2 to 3 lakhs. So if it is a 2 year master's program, ideally, your 2 year costing for study could be anything between say 4 to 6 lakhs apart from your accommodation cost. So tuition fees in India for doing a MBA program or MSc chemistry or whatever it is, or MA arts, anything, it could be anything between 3 to 6 lakhs depending on the qualification the student is taking, right? But in foreign countries, the costing could vary. But luckily right now, we have some free education options which can be taken in countries like Italy, and then we also have some free education options in Germany. Germany is very competitive, but you can always think about going to Italy, where we only have one intake, that is in the month of September. The admission process has already begun, and the cost of education could be anything between 2 to 14 lakhs or 2 to 12 lakhs, rather 2 to 12 lakhs per year. Now, when you were to talk about study abroad options, as you know, the currency differences always exist. So when we were to speak about a foreign education, I would say the cost of education in a foreign country for 1 year could vary anything between 2 lakhs till 12 lakhs. Okay, just so try to understand, foreign education is possible if you come from a background where you do not have that finances to meet up your expenses and study study component or tuition fees. I would insist the student can go to some low budget options like Italy or Germany, where we can do free education for them. In that case, there are some very nominal tuition fees. So as a result of which, your costing for education could vary anything between 2 to 12 lakhs per year. Okay, so I spoke about first requirement, which is having a passport. Then I spoke about the academic sessions. Every year, the admissions or the courses start in different month of the year. So we have like 2 to 3 intakes for every year in every country. We have all the countries on the list. So if you want to do a master's in any country, just let us have your requirement, and we can help with any kind of, admission process to any program anywhere in the world. When we speak about costing, as I told you, 2 to 12 lakh is something what we would charge for the program fees. Now, all this fees, what you have to pay, these are directly sent to the university. So we as a company would not charge anything for your tuition fees, but all the money, all the remittance, what you do is sent to the university admission department directly via bank as per the Reserve Bank of India rules, and you get a receipt for all the payment. So all the institutions what we are dealing, these are all good quality institutions. So I told you about the costing. The costing of education could vary anything between 2 to 12 lakhs per year. Now let us understand like what kind of institutions we have. Now when we speak about UK, Canada, USA, Australia, New Zealand, now just to give you an example, our now, see, I have an office in Satara. So when I speak about a university like Shivaji, which no doubt is a good university again, the world ranking for Shivaji University is around 6,800. So in the world ranking, Shivaji University stands at a place of 6,800 ranking. Okay. Now, when we talk about the quality of institution, our placements for study offers would be done in top 400 world ranking institutions only. Okay, so when I say that, okay, fine, we are okay to proceed with a study offer for a student, the admissions what we offer to any students aspiring to do a master's or a bachelor's or PhD program, all the options what we would prefer, they would only be into top 400 world ranking institutions only. So I gave you an example. I spoke about a university like Shivaji, which has a world ranking of 6,800. And when we were to send a student to any country in either States, Canada, Italy, Ireland, any place in the world, we would cater to top 400 or top 500 world ranking institution only. And the costing, as I said, could vary between 2 to 12 lakh. Now, when you say like, okay, fine, I want to get into a country like UK. So what is the costing? I would say it is around 12 lakhs per year. So how do I manage these funds? Because I come from a very average background, and my mom and dad, they do not have that money to fund me. So do you have any financial, funding opportunities for a student? So I would say yes. So now I can give you one example. When I went to UK like 13, 14 years back, so that time my dad was a secondary school teacher. So for him to spend a big amount of money on my masters in UK was not possible. So he helped me to a greater extent. Because of his support, I think I made my way very easy. But then we went and approached SBI, which is State Bank of India, and we were able to get a good amount of loan for my studies. And that is how my journey began. Okay. So I think when we speak about education options, and when we think about countries like UK, USA, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, these are all top countries in the world, the cost of education could be on the higher side. In that case, we can get financial assistance from institutions like SBI, HDFC, all big companies. Even there are private institutions who can also offer some helping hand to all the students. So education loans are possible, and these are done at a very lower interest rate. So even if you come from a very low middle class family, you can still afford doing a program in a very top notch institution. The reason is you could get good funding from all the banks in India, but the way of putting your file in the bank has to be done in the right way. So we have tie-ups with different banks and private institutions which can also help with all kind of funding for the students. Okay, so when we talk about studying overseas, it is affordable. The reason because if you do not want to go for high budgets, we can always offer good options like Italy, where the cost of education is around 2 to 3 lakhs for 2 years. In Italy, we also offer stipend to the student, which is around 3 to 4 lakhs per year. So if you are studying in a country like Italy, if you want to do, say for example, BSc students, if they want to do a master's in say management, so just for the sake of understanding, if they want to convert their field, it is possible. And then they can also get some stipend around 3 to 4 years per year. So you just need to pay some nominal fees, tuition fees, and addition to that, this will be covered under stipend. So this can happen in a country like Italy. For Germany, we need very good academics. So Germany is a little bit competitive, but I would say like Italy is something what you can easily think about. And when you talk about countries like UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, USA, these are high budget options. But for them, financial institutions or financial organizations, they always provide a helping hand in terms of finances, where the student can have this opportunity of taking a loan and then they travel on the study options. Okay. Apart from this, the biggest opportunity what we have here is, now I'm pretty sure like Solapur is a city where we have people even from minority background. So the count of people there, I think, is comparatively bit high. So if you or if your institution have students who come from say SC, ST or NT background, the state government and central government in collaboration with Samaj Kalyan office at your local place issues full funding for studies overseas. So if you are a student coming from a minority background, you can always approach your Samaj Kalyan office in the local area, where they can arrange a full scholarship from state government or from the central government for doing a master's in any foreign country. Okay, so that is the very good opportunity for people who come from minority background. People who do not come from minority background, unfortunately, there is no scholarship, but then ultimately we can also have that kind of assistance from the banks. Okay, so this, please kindly have a note of this. Fine. Now let us summarize. First thing, as I told you, passport is something what we need. Second, academic sessions, they last like 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 times in a year. So admission process is not competitive. It is possible. It is not like India when we miss out on a specific intake, then we have to wait for 1 year. It is not like that. So 2 to 3 intakes are always available in any English speaking country or anywhere in the world. We have all the countries on the globe, so that should not be a problem again. And importantly, the costing, we operate from or we are into tie-ups with institutions which offer programs of good quality, where the institutions would be like top 4 to 500 ranking, and the budget of options could be anything between 2 to 12 lakhs per year. Apart from this, important thing, finances, people from backgrounds coming from minority areas, they can get state and central government scholarships, and people from open background, they can always have helping hand from the financial institutions. Fine. Now let us see like what is the kind of or what is the other requirements. Now ideally student should have like 50% and above in their bachelor's or even 12th standard, or even say if the student is going for a bachelor's, 12th standard should be above 60%, and if the student is going for a master's program, we can accept student even with 50% of background. So marks is not a criteria. When you study into a foreign institution, all big institution can still accept student with low credentials. So there are multiple options where we are very strong in placing student even who is not having a very great academic background as such, because foreign institutions, they work in a very different way. They want talented people, and they more sort of look out at an overall personality as compared to only judging students on the academic backgrounds. Fine. So people who have 50% and above, they can still apply for institutions. Fine. Now what are the other requirements? Now when you talk about any English speaking country, there are certain exams what has to be given. Now apart from your degree, I think degree is a nominal thing which everybody will have. That is okay, no problem. But apart from that, some universities in the world or some countries in the world will all ask for some additional language requirements. So you might have heard about IELTS or IELTS. We normally call IELTS as IELTS. So IELTS or IELTS, one and the same. IELTS is normally asked for students who are aspiring to take a master's or a bachelor degree in an English speaking country. So if you are a student who are or who is wanting to travel to a country like UK, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, USA, all English speaking countries will look at IELTS score. Okay, apart from this, some technical programs and some management programs may require GRE, which is graduate record examination, and GMAT scores. but most of the times we can waive off this GRE and GMAT scores. But IELTS is something what the student should always have. That is a plus point. In a country like UK, if you want to travel to a university in London or anywhere in England, we can help the student to travel even without IELTS, provided the student have scored 70 and above in English subject for his 12th standard. So all these details you can just come down to our Solapur office, and then they can brief everything in detail about the requirements and everything. But just for the sake of understanding, I'm just going very slow with every minute detail. The reason because I want you to understand like what exactly study abroad and what are the basic requirements of traveling on a study abroad program. So as I said, first thing is having a passport. Second is we have multiple sessions. We work with almost every university or country in the world. When we talk about ranking, we will do the admissions only in top 400 world ranking institutions. Program fees will be anything between 2 to 12 lakhs. Importantly, the financials, we have scholarships for students coming from background like SC and ST, where state and central government scholarships are available, where full funding can be achieved or secured. Second is people from non-minority background, they can always go to the banks and take some education loans. Okay. And now, how many types we have? If you ask me the question like what are the types we have or the number of institutions we are tied up with, then I would say some are direct types, some are indirect types via connections. So at present, we have a tie-up of more than 950 universities across the world. So you just need to name a university in the world and we will be able to send the student into any country, any university, irrespective of your credentials. The reason because when we get a student, we will pre-screen the student, and according to his criteria or according to his academic background, his achievements, we'll try to offer a very good country matching to the specific requirement of the student. Fine. So we spoke about the basic requirements of doing a study abroad options, what kind of institutions we have. As I said, we have more than 950 universities in the world working with us. Some are direct, some are indirect, and all top 400 to 500 universities across the world. Importantly, we can do bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs. Financial part, you can take assistance from bank. If you come from minority background, full funding can be offered from government. Apart from this, academic sessions, they are like 2 to 3 times in a year, so that should not be a problem, right? Now this is something what we spoke about, the basic requirement. Now when we speak about studying overseas, so what are the steps basically, or what is the flow chart, or what or where exactly you should start? Now I told you about what we can do, but when you show some interest for taking a study abroad overseas or studying towards a program overseas, so where or when exactly you should start? So that is the biggest concern. Okay, as I said, if you are in the final year right now, if there are any student attending the seminar right now, and if they are in the final year, so we are in the month of April now, sorry, March now, almost March, February last day, so approaching towards March. So now we are in the month of March, and if you have that intention of studying and traveling overseas, say to a city like London or city like, just for the sake of understanding, say Toronto, or even say Vancouver or Montreal, Birmingham, Manchester, anywhere, we can assure that if somebody is really interested, they can find themselves in a city like London, even in this September 2021. So if you have that courage, or if you have that aggression of doing a study abroad and traveling as soon as possible, just come down to the office and I can guarantee a seat of admission for any of the programs, whether it is bachelor's, master's, not PhD, but bachelor's and master's, for the September 2021 intake in any UK universities, in any Canadian universities right now. So we are hiring very aggressively. New Zealand and Australian borders are closed right now following this corona situation, but then I think right now UK and Canada are accepting applications, and we have like a number of students traveling almost every week now. So you can take this opportunity and the student can see themselves in a country like England, even in September 2021. So if you want to be a student and want to be in London in say September 2021, just come down to our office and we will help you with the entire process. Now when we speak about the process, let us understand like what the process is and how exactly it is executed. Now if you have any questions, we will take it at end of the session. So as I'm progressing on the content, just have the note of the questions what you have, and maybe at end of the session we can take all those questions. Fine. So when we talk about the execution part, so what are our services? So let us understand like what are our services. So before that, I think I would like to share this slide. So if you are there online right now, maybe you can take a photo of this, or maybe you can just note it down. As I said, Ashiraj Education Overseas Consultant, the parent company, is having a center. We have 38 centers right now, Solapur being one of the centers, which is being managed by Mr. Abhijit Gokhale sir and Mrs. Vandana Kopkar ma'am. So they are the owners of Learn and Earn Foreign Education Services, which is based in 13 Siddhant Vidyanagar, North Sadar Bazaar in Solapur, Solapur 3. They are on both the numbers. Mr. Abhijit sir is on 9890186186, and Kopkar ma'am is on 9860028798. So I think I have shared this slide. So I'll just keep it live for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So if you want to note down the numbers and email IDs, you can just do it, or you can just take a screenshot of this slide, or if you want, you can just take a photo of the screen. So we'll just wait for a minute here. You can just note it down, and then we'll just proceed with the rest of the content. So I'll just take a pause of 1 minute here. Kindly request you to just note down all these numbers and email IDs, because this will be very handy when you just call them, and then you can just walk into our offices or maybe the center office in Solapur. On the last part of the slide, I have just put down my head office address, branch office address, and you could see like we are operating since 2012 with a pan-India network of around 35 plus offices right now. By end of 2021, our count of offices would be around 100. So we are expecting that Ashiraj would be spread up across India in all the states by end of December 2021. So this is a big project what we are executing. But as of now, in your case, the focus has to be in coming down to Learn and Earn Foreign Education Services, which is our Solapur center. So I'm just going back to the previous slides now. I believe like everybody has taken the details. If not, maybe you can just get in touch with the college management and you can have all these details. So just to repeat, Learn and Earn Foreign Education Services. We are based at 13 Siddhant Vidyanagar, North Sadar Bazaar, Solapur 3, which is being managed by Mr. Abhijit Gokhale sir. His number is 9890186186, and the other colleague is Mrs. Vandana Kopkar ma'am. Her number is 9860028798, and you can also email them in case of their queries. They both are available on the same numbers on WhatsApp, so you can WhatsApp them if you have any concerns. Fine, we are open like almost like every day in a week, so that should not be a problem, and you can just get in touch with our offices there, and probably we can try to help all the students. So let us go back to the previous slide. So when we talk about when we talk about the execution part, so as I was saying, what kind of services we bring on board. So as I was explaining to you, like what kind of requirements exactly the student need to have for doing a study abroad options. So once you decide to travel abroad, as you might be aware now, like what are the basic requirements? As I said, you need to have a valid passport, well financed or well finances has to be in place, and we can offer admissions to multiple institutions across the world, any programs, everything can be done. And when you make a mind to travel abroad, and that is the point when you see our counselors in our offices. So I think our services start with very scratch. Now see, like in Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, whatever places we had been going into, we get a crowd of students, or we get a good crowd of students, where most of the students are very much active. They know each and everything about the process. Now technology is at the very peak. So people go on Google, they find out each and everything. We have good medium like YouTube, and then we have LinkedIn and other platforms through which people are able to exchange all kind of information, through which they easily understand like what study abroad is, and they easily see a very virtual view even of cities and universities. But what I have seen is, because I also have an office in the downtown, which is Satara. So I know like there are many students, they do not have that understanding about, you know, studying overseas, and they really feel like it is very difficult. So as I said, it is a limited crowd traveling to a foreign destination where there are multiple opportunities, and we can just budget this as per your requirement, starting from 2 lakhs to 12 lakhs. Fine. So when you are a student, or if you are a student coming to our office with full knowledge or with zero knowledge, we are here to help. So our services basically start with career counseling. So when you are a student wanting to do a master's or a bachelor's program overseas, you just need to come down to our office. You just need to bring along with you a copy of your CV and your mark sheets. So once we see this, we will offer a proper counseling. Now, if I get a student who is doing, say, a third year bachelor's in, say, physics with specialization physics, BSc Science Physics, and if the student want to do some, master's program, say, into management, okay, or if they want to continue with some physical aspect, then we can always suggest good institutions and good programs into any countries across the world. So the initial counseling starts with understanding the profile of the student, following to which we will pre-screen the student and will make him will just understand like what the requirement is. If a student is wanting to continue with the same technical aspect of the study, we can offer a number of programs matching to his requirement. At the same time, we can also offer student with some other options if the student do not want to continue with the same technical education. So the first part is counseling the student, understanding the requirement. Once you sit with us, we will explain to you like how exactly the system in every country works. So we have different PDFs which will have all the information about the programs. So I'll just share one a sample here. So if you could see here, just give me 1 minute. I'll just show you something here. Now, when you come down to our office in any center, now if you are a student and say, for example, if you want to travel to a country like UK, now, okay, fine. When you want to travel to a country like UK, now see, we have this kind of brochures which are designed. Okay, if you could see, I believe like everybody is able to see the screen. So here we have this United Kingdom Masters Program information. This is same for bachelors. So this information pack highlights each and everything. So there is a section which highlights the start and intake deadlines. It highlights the eligibility criteria. It highlights the length of program, why UK students work right. Everything is written there. And documents which are needed to be shown for admission to a UK university, step-by-step process for getting the study offer, document required for visa, student visa, what all universities and everything, contact details. So such kind of brochures has been designed by our company, wherein the students can get all the information when they come to our offices. So if you are a student and if you want to just come down with or without any knowledge, if you just come down without any knowledge, we will do a pre-screening of the student where we will make the student understand about taking a specific option into a specific country, where initial part will be selecting a country for the student. Following to that, once we select a country for the student, if say for example, if I am a student from arts background and I have done my say third year of BA in economics, then the best country to do a foreign education would be either UK or traveling to a country like Canada or Germany. So I would make sure that the student is given the full idea about the options what can be taken in countries like Canada, UK and Germany, and depending on the budget of the country, depending on the academic credentials of the student, we normally decide one country. Say for example, if we decide to go for UK, that will be the first step in the process. So once we decide the country, we will send the list of institutions where masters in economics or any subject relevant to economics can be offered into UK universities. The first step is you come to our office, you share your profile with us, we sit together, we make you understand the differences between all the countries, the funding and everything. We decide on a specific subject. Before that, we decide a specific country. If it is UK, the next step is we send to your email a list of institution where this will have programs which can be taken into a specific country. So on doing that, once you have the list of institution, we request the student to go and study the websites of all the countries, okay, or the websites of all the institution. Now say for example, you come to my office and you are a student and wanting to do say for example a master's option. I'll give you some example, just give me 1 minute. Now say for example, if you are a student and now see, now this is one example. I'll just show you one example here. Now see, this is one example. Now we have one student from I forgot the name of that college, but we have one student from Solapur, like where we have done a seminar. I think she was from this Sangameshwar College, I guess. So we had done a seminar, I think, few weeks back, and she had shown the interest of doing a master's in UK in chemistry. So this is what we sent to her. So as I said, when she came to our office in Solapur, we initially decided about her requirement, and we thought that she would better do a good program in a country like UK. So when we decided to go with UK, we had sent her a list of options which can be taken in UK. So this is what we sent to her, which was University of Birmingham, Sheffield University, and the programs in the second column. You could see here the second column highlight is the name of the institution, website, campus, country, study level, entry requirements. So such kind of detail sheet will be given to the student. So this will be emailed to the student. So on receiving the email, that this will be the first stage of counseling. In the second stage of counseling, what we do is we ask the student to visit the third column of the sheet, which is URL, that is the link of the institutions, where if you want to study in University of Birmingham, say for example, if you want to study MSc by research chemistry, you just have to visit this third column, link of this third column. When you click on the link of this third column, you are directed to the university page, where you will be able to see the subjects what could be taken for that master's program. Okay, and according to this, when you do a research on all this institution, you get a fair idea about which universities are good and which universities are bad. Now it may happen, now you people are students, so I think the maturity level doesn't exist to that certain, or it exists to a very certain limit. So if you do not understand anything, we are here to guide. Now when Mansi came to our office, we had referred her some options, and we decided to go with some few options. And I think currently we are having her applications with 3 institutions right now. One is Birkbeck College in London, then I think one is Kingston College, and then I think we are also having the application with, I think, Coventry College. So I forgot the names of the college, to be very honest, but I think it is Coventry. So when you come to our office, the first part is we will decide a country. Following to this, you will get the list of institution in the first counseling. In the second counseling, we ask you to come back again with your research of this institution. If you say like, I don't have any idea, you let us know, or you help me to find out the institution. Then with our expertise, we will jot down, or we will finalize 3 to 4 institutions from the list of institutions given to you. Now see here, we had emailed her about 20 options for UK, and we decided to go with 3 options. So I think Mansi had picked up 1 or 2 options, and remaining 1 or 2 options we offered her. So once you get this list, we will finalize 3 or 4 institutions. Okay. Now, what do you mean by finalizing 3 to 4 institutions? So here at this stage, in the second stage of counseling, we will decide on, applying to specific universities, and we will at least apply for 3 to 4 universities at a time. Now, if you want to do your applications in, say, universities like, say, University of London, City University London, and then say Anglia Ruskin University. So these are the 3 institutions where we will do the application. And following to this, we will apply to the 3 institutions. The reason, because most of the times it is very competitive. So it may happen that out of the 3 institutions, only 2 institutions will offer us a place of study. So we do not want to risk the application. So in the first stage, we discuss with the student about the options. In the second stage, we help the student in getting or shortlisting the universities, and we get the study offers for the student. Once we get the study offer for the student, the second or the third stage is making the visa documentation. So our team will help you with all the visa documentation which requires, say, your 10th standard mark sheet, 12th standard mark sheet, filling of application form, showing proper bank statements for visa. So everything will be told to you at a very length. Everything will be given to you in very black and white, and a proper understanding about the visa process will be told to the student. In some countries there are visa interviews. Every country will have specific requirements for their visas. So all this process will be done at our Solapur office, and a proper file will be done, and the student will just need to go to the Mumbai office of a visa or a visa office for a specific country, and they just need to submit the visa application document at that center, and after a few days the student normally get through with the visa. So once your visa is out, we help the student in arranging all kind of travel and currency arrangement, because if you are a country traveling to a country like UK, you will need money in pounds, you will need a forex card. So this card and this money will be arranged from our side. The currency conversion, everything will be done from our Mumbai branch. And following to that, we also arrange, when you land there, we also arrange a proper airport pickup for all the students. So as you are into a new country, we do not want a situation where the student has, going here and there and then having no place to stay. So that should not be there. So that to avoid such kind of situations, we always arrange a taxi pickup for the student. Apart from this initial 15 days of accommodation, which is to be paid by the applicant, I repeat, your airport pickup and your accommodation arrangement, this has to be paid by the applicant, and this will be arranged, or this will be assisted from our side. Now there are some part-time jobs what the student can do, there are some full-time jobs what the student can do after studies. So this assistance also we can provide to you after you land there. So our services start from career counseling, as I said, university selection, offering a right course, getting offer letters, doing the visa documentation, applying for visas, arranging currencies, airport pickup, arranging jobs, accommodation, everything will be done from our side. Now job assistance is something is called as assistance. We do not guarantee jobs, because our major part is going to be for doing a study visa, not a job visa. So we will not put 100% of our activities into finding a job, but any kind of assistance is something what we can provide. But job guarantee we do not provide for study options. We offer 100% guarantee for study offers at specific universities, so that should not be a problem. Now let us see like what are the study abroad opportunities for a student. I think we'll just try to do it a little bit quickly, because I think we had been given 1 hour of time. So when you do a foreign education option overseas, let us understand like how does the curriculum work. Now in India, when you do a full-time program, now at your college, when you study at a full-time program, ideally you go to the college from Monday to Saturday, say like 10 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. So you are entirely occupied by your curriculum activities throughout the day, and you are not left with any kind of time after your college. So in India, most of the times, 99% of the time when people study, they cannot get engaged into any kind of job activities. But in foreign countries, whether it is UK, Canada, USA, Ireland, Australia, or any countries what you could see on the slide, or anywhere in the world, full-time programs are only conducted for 3 days in a week. So please have a note of this. Any program what you're taking in any foreign institution, the programs are normally conducted for maximum 4 days and minimum 2 days in a week. On an average, the student hardly goes to the university for 3 days, and the study curriculum for a week is designed at a upper capping of 20 hours per week. So in a week, the student only studies for 20 hours, that is for 3 days. The balance 3 or 4 days, the student can go and do any kind of part-time job. So every program anywhere in the world is followed in a way where a bachelor's or master's is taken at a full-time option, as a full-time option, but it is going to be only 3 days college, 4 days is going to be holiday. So in that 4 day, this student visa legally allows student to take up any additional work placement. So all our students, or through my side or through any consultants traveling from all around the world, the student every time engage into a part-time job and part-time learning, where they study 20 hours, which is a full-time program, and 20 hours of work. So by doing this 20 hours of work, you are in a position to support yourself for the cost of living. Now, say for example, you go to a country like UK, where the masters is ideally going to be for 1 year. So yes, the masters in UK is only for 1 year. There are some institutions which can also offer 2-year master, but if it is 2-year master, 1 year is study and 1 year is paid internship. So you get money for studying on the second year of a master's, where you have to go and work into a UK based company. Fine. Ideally, if the master is for 1 year, which is for 12 months, then in that case, in the first year of master or that master program, 20 hours you study, 20 hours you work, and following to that, additional 2 years of payback option is given to the student. So we'll discuss about that as well, but initially try to understand the study pattern. So 20 hours study, 20 hours of work. When you work for 20 hours in a country like UK, you ideally have to find your own job. As I said, that is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is bringing student into that country, but finding a job is your headache. You have to find that. We can help with some assistance, but that is an extra service we provide. So we are not committed in giving a guaranteed job to the student. So that is the responsibility of the student. Fine. So we'll just go with very plain black and white conditions. So first thing is 20 hours of study, 20 hours of work. So if it is a master's or bachelor's taken in UK, 20 hours of work while studying, like working in a hotel or working in a mall, working at public cinema halls, working for a promotional companies, working at an event management company, anything, any work you can do. You can work as an admin staff, marketing executive, anything, where if you even work for 20 hours, now specifically, say for example, you are working in London, then for 20 hours, you can easily earn somewhere around 70 to 80,000 in a month. So your 1 month income could be anything between 70 to 80,000 Indian rupees for 1 month. So 1 month income by just doing 20 hours every week will get down the money or stipend of around 70 to 80,000, and your cost of living will also be around 70 to 80,000. So what I mean to say is, when you take any foreign education, 20 hours study, 20 hours of work. So with this 20 hours of work, the student are always able to support themselves for their cost of living. So you should not worry about the cost of living component, because cost of living component will be taken care by your own activities of doing a part-time job in that country. Now let us understand, like, what are the rules for studying, or what are the post-study options. Now, why to invest in foreign countries? Now, as I said to you earlier, now people who do not come from minority background, if somebody is coming from an open category background, ideally for those students, if they go for an English speaking country, they spend around 12 to 15 lakhs for 1 year. So what is the use? I mean, see, I understand they get a global exposure, they get all kind of facilities. Being a developed country is altogether a different story. But then if I'm taking that education loan of say 12 to 15 lakhs from the bank, and if I am traveling overseas, so how do I repay that fund? Because that money is a big money, right? So when you are investing into any country on the education option, every country allows student to stay there for some additional years, so which is called as post-study work visa. Now, if you are a student going into any country in the world, whether it is UK, Canada, USA, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, you just name any countries, every country will allow you some stayback option. So what is stayback option? Stayback option is the grace period, which is called as work visa, which is given to every student because he has invested certain amount of funds for his studies in that specific host country. Okay, if I am a student going to UK for my masters, after completing my masters, the government will allow me additional 2 years of work visa, where I can find my own job in any field. If I am a mechanical engineer and if I don't want to continue with my mechanical engineering work, I can even work in a hotel for full 2 years. So that is allowed. So 2 years of search visa is given in UK after completing 1 year of masters. So in 2 years of time, you can easily find your job. And if you get a job, ideally the payment can be anything between 1.5 lakhs to 2.5 lakhs for a fresher. So even if you get 2 lakhs in a year, in a month, and if you spend say 50-60,000 for your accommodation, the rest amount will be your saving, out of which there will be some taxes, but easily you could save around 70 to 80,000. So if you work for 2 years And if you are doing a basic saving of 60,000, so 24 months into 60, that is somewhere around 14 lakhs 40,000. And if your loan amount is say 15 lakhs, then I'm pretty sure like at end of the 2 years, you will be in a position to repay all your monies back. Fine. After this 2 years, then you can always apply for some extension. And in any country, if you stay like this for like 4, 5, 6 years, you apply for a green card or permanent residency. So the reason why people go and study in UK or Canada or USA is just because with this route, they study at the same time they earn, at the same time they get some extensions where they repay their funds taken from financial institution, and moving forward they continue with the employment wherein they stay there for 5, 6 good years and convert their visas to a citizenship. So you might have heard about many your relatives, your friends, your seniors who had been to different countries and then they have never come back and then they have stayed there. Now see, when I went there, I stayed there for 6 good years, but I came back because I wanted to do something for my country and I wanted to settle down. Now it is up to you. If you think like India has opportunities, come back. If you think you want to grow there, it is your decision. So we do not have a control there. So it is up to you. So a country like UK, a master's is going to be for 1 year. Stay back option is going to be for 2 years with good chances of citizenship. Canada, you can do 1 year study, 2 year study. Ideally, you get 3 years of search visa after completing your studies, and the chances of getting permanent residency and PR is very good in Canada. So if you choose Canada as your study option, then I think you would easily find a PR option there in Canada after a few years. Same is with USA, where 2 years of masters and 3 years of search visa. Ireland offers 1 year of masters and 2 years of work visa. So see, there are different countries offering like 1 or 2 year of masters, and post-study work visa is different for different countries. Say for example, with Australia, it is 2 year masters and 4 year is your work visa. Now, I think let us not go in depth for what exactly or how exactly the program for UK will run, Canada will run, because as I said, we have brochures designed for all the countries. Any country in the world, we have specific brochure. The student can refer that, the parents can refer that. Everything is written in very simple English language where the student can make the parents understand if they are not comfortable with English, or even if the parents are comfortable, they can just go through the brochures and then they can try to get the idea. But more important is, if you come down to our Solapur center, we have our expert team there. So they will be in a position to guide you for each and every aspect of the study option. Okay, so study abroad is possible. It is affordable. The reason because there are options ranging from 2 to 15 lakhs. Scholarships are available. Say for example, in UK, we can get a full bursary, that is some discount, which is like 20% of the tuition fees for students. At the same time, some other institutions, say for example, Italy, we offer some additional stipend to the student. So depending on the country, scholarships may vary. But for countries like Canada, USA, Ireland, Australia, if you're looking at full scholarships, then the student have to apply on their own, because consultants are not allowed to apply for any scholarships on behalf of the student. So the student can coordinate or they can contact with the authorities who are offering scholarships in those countries. They can get in touch with them and then they can apply for those scholarships straight away. Okay, but some discounts in the fees is something what we can offer, or we can try to negotiate with the college and we can try to get all such kind of discounts. And we can even offer options ranging from few lakhs to say like 9 lakhs to 15 lakhs in a country like UK, so where you can also save good amount of money. Fine. So this was something about education option. And I also told you about the scholarships. I told you about the documentation. I told you that there are multiple intakes. So if you want to travel in September, this can be possible if you just visit our Solapur office. I'm pretty sure like if you are there right now and if you visit our Solapur office, you could see yourself in England, you could see yourself in Canada, you could see yourself in Ireland anytime in September. No problem with that, because it is very easy. If you follow protocols, we will have a very good 100% of visa success rate, because this is something what we have been doing since last 9 years of time. As I said, I am into the business of recruitment since last almost 14, 16, 15 years now, where I started my initial career with US recruitment. So I have a very good experience of handling cases for recruitment, international placement, as well as recruitment for study options. So our expertise lies there, and our team, entire team at the head office, we are a group of 3 to 4 partners who had been overseas. We have stayed there, we have studied there, and we have spent a very good time in those countries. So we understand the basics about all the visas, the system, the education pattern, and we have a very good expertise of offering different subjects meeting to the specific domains of or specific requirement of a student. So I think it is a good opportunity where the student can visit our Solapur center, and then they can get this services right there at the local place, instead of you traveling to metros like Pune and Mumbai, and then you wait there, you spend your money, and then proper counseling is not done. So it is very difficult. Now the biggest plus point what I have here is, whatever counselings we do, now when you come down to our Solapur office, they will help you in each and every aspect. But apart from this, we will also get into the counseling part. The initial counseling is normally done at the Solapur center, and then there is a second counseling which is arranged at the head office, where me or my other partner Abhay, or there are like 2 more directors of the companies, they will get into the counseling process. So we are those counselors who have this entire experience. So we will make this happen for all our students, and a proper counseling will be set for all the students. So a proper streamlined counseling. So that would be for an hour or so, where we will try to explain each and everything, each and every aspect to a student in terms of education. So I think no country or no consultant in the market right now is doing this. I would not say like people are good or people are bad. I don't know, have that right to blame anyone. But when you talk about our services, you can always Google out Ashiraj and reviews. We have a 5-star rating at Google for on Facebook as well as on Google reviews for last 9 years. It is only because we had been very, very precise with all our services. So that was it for the education part. Now, if you have any questions, we can just take a pause of 1 or 2 minutes, and we can just start with all those questions. So I think it is almost 3:35 right now, and we had been given a time of 1 hour. So I think we have just bypassed that. Sorry for that. I think it was a long session, but it was important, because I think in one go, the student need to understand each and everything. So I'll just stop sharing my screen, and I'll just take your questions one by one. So if you have any questions, please just put it here, so we can just have some interaction here. Otherwise, just merely speaking for 1 hour would not help.
So students, friends, if you have any question, you can ask directly to the resource person. Anybody having any doubt, any question, just unmute yourself and ask to the resource person.
What are the advantages of studying in abroad?
See, it depends, right? Now, see, when I can just give you my example. Now, people who have some degrees, right? And if they really want to have a very good global exposure. So the first point is having a good global exposure is very important. Universities based in abroad, they are very old universities. And at the same time, if you could see here, the options what we offer for students when they go for a study abroad options, we have a diversity of options where you can easily study onto a very advanced technology. You can very easily study onto a very advanced concepts. So this really helps with a good foundation. And as sir said initially in the discussion, the world is very competitive. So for you to survive in a competitive market, I think you need to have that, initial skills, which easily can come through taking some abroad education. I don't say like quality in India is bad. Indian education system is one among the top and renowned education system in the world. But then Indian education system has too many flaws. At the same time, the institutions like IITs and IIMs, they are like world ranking institutions where cracking or getting into those institutions is very difficult. Now, when we talk about IITs, where these are like top 100 ranking institutions in the world, compared to that, we can also send students into universities which are a top 100, even for a student who has scored 50% and above. So you see, like, even if you fall very short in your credentials, you can get into, a university which is based overseas. So studying overseas has many options. You get into good environment, you get into a developed country, you have the chance of settling yourself in that country, and then studying towards a good option into a good city, and then with good infrastructure. So I think that will really help. And the prospects of or maybe future prospects after taking a master's in any international country, what happens when you come back to India, your CV will have that value addition. And I'm pretty sure that with this value addition, you can always have a good monetary benefit as well as a good profile when you're back into India.
Well, anybody else having any question, just ask to the resource person.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
सर IAS पास झाल्यानंतर किती वर्षानंतर आपल्याला तिकडे चान्स आहेत सर?
See, it depends on the country. Now, I think this is a good question. Now, I can give you a very recent example. One of my relatives, his name is Mr. Swapnil Baukar. So he has cleared this UPSC ranking examination twice. So currently he's working with, I think, the revenue department, and he's located, I think, in Gujarat. So he had recently contacted me, and he wanted to do a master's in management at either Imperial College or King's College London. So this is one of, I think these two institutions are like top 10 world ranking institutions. So depending on the country and depending on your experience. So if you have a proper experience without any gaps, and if it is justifying your role, then I think there is no age limit as such. But to a country like UK, we are open for people who are until like 40 years of age background. And for countries like Canada, I think 35 years is something could be, a capping year where we will be easily able to push the applicants. But as I said, if the profile is really excellent, as you said, if the student is coming from an IS background, and if he's having say 10 years of management experience, we will surely not have any problems getting into good institutions across the world. But the only thing is, it should be properly justified. So your SOPs and that statement of purpose and everything has to be properly highlighted during the entire admission process. So we have that expertise, so we will guide the student in each and every aspect. So that should be possible. That is not a difficult task at all.
ओके सर, थँक्यू सर.
Okay.
पुन्हा सर एक शंका अशी,
हा.
समजा माझा वय 55 आहे आणि मला अब्रॉडला डिपार्टमेंटच्या अंतर्गत जायचं आहे शिकवण्यासाठी.
Okay.
तर अशा काही संधी असतात का?
Right. Now your question is now if there is a tutor or professor who is like above 50 and then they really want to go overseas for a work opportunity, and that too under the academic field. So is that possible? Right? This is your question, right? Now see, that area is different because that falls into the work category. Fine. Now our focus is more on sending students onto a study option, but still I'll answer your question. Now see, if you really want to get into any kind of association, whether it is a teaching association with any foreign institution, the best part is, contacting the admissions department at overseas, looking at the kind of requirements what they have, and then applying directly for a role along with clear statement of purpose. So your statement of purpose should clearly highlight along with your CV a good profile with all your curriculum, your paper presentations and everything will again be very handy. The kind of experience, the kind of research work what you have done for that module, and then applying to the admissions department. So if they specifically look out for a specialized tutor at that subject, normally invitations are sent for such kind of professors, and then they are interviewed online initially. And if they feel like any kind of face-to-face interview is to be taken, then flight tickets and everything are arranged for those tutors, where they are called for a physical interview one-to-one, and then the process could go alongside. So this normally happens similarly in this way. It also happens for a PhD resource scholar, where if somebody want to do a PhD programs, ideally they conduct the same process in the same way. So I think this subject is very specific. The query is very specific. I mean, like, there are no certain protocols for that, but I think this was just a suggestion. You could use this route when it comes to applying for a overseas tutor role as such. But then your visa and everything would matter, and sometimes the university would also sponsor some special visas for this case. So that is going to be a university specific role as such. So you have to get in touch with specific institutions and try doing that. I mean, on my side, we have never done that, and we are not an expert in doing such kind of roles for any of the people traveling from India. But this was something I told you just because I have seen like people always use this route when it comes to doing an application overseas.
Acha, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, what is the difference between studying in USA or UK and Italy?
Okay, fine. Now see, it depends on the profile again. Now see, if you are a student, now first thing is we just need to understand like, do you really have that long-term inclination of studying and staying there overseas? Okay, if you have that, then for a country like Italy, you need to have certain Italian language skills. Now altogether, when you just study there for 2 years and then want to extend there for additional 1 or 2 years, then having that Italian skill language or Italian language will not matter. But if you really want to study there for a longer time or want to settle there for a longer time, that Italian language skills will come in place. So when you ask me a question like what is the difference of education or what is the difference between studying in UK, USA and Italy, I would say Italy is a low budget option where the institutions what we are dealing right now, these are public universities which are funded by the government of Italy. And when we do that, or when we do the admissions into Italian institutions, we also try to get low budget options which starts from 2 lakh onwards. And more importantly, we also try to find scholarships for the student. So it is going to be a low budget option into a public universities which could be like top 100 or top 300 world ranking. Apart from that, if you study in a country like UK, getting into top 10 or top 50 world ranking institution in UK and US is very difficult, which requires good expertise in terms of your TOEFL, IELTS, GMAT, and it is going to be expensive. So most of the institutions in UK and USA, they will have a very high amount of fees where you have to jot down your finances and then accordingly you have to apply. And when you talk about a country like UK, right now UK is offering some stay back options which are for 2 years. USA is offering a stay back option of 3 years. But when it comes to permanent residency or settling there for overseas, USA cannot be the #1 destination right now because H1B and other visas are in very big suspect. And people after 5 years of time, they are asked to leave that country just because green card allocations are country specific. There is quota for specific countries, and when we just exhaust with those quota, people have to leave the country without jobs. So I think if you want to have that long-term inclination, just keep your option as UK as compared to Italy and USA. But if you think that with a low budget option you can want to take a quality education, go for Italy and just try practicing Italian language, try to study that Italian language because that will come handy after your masters, and you can try to settle down there permanently in a European country. So these are the basic differences.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Unune sir.
Yes, sir.
Most of the students from Indian climate, they have physical problems at countries in the say Europe and America.
Right.
So would you guide them on this specific say issue?
Right. Now I think this is a very specific question. Now see, try to understand. Now we come from a background. Now India, the climatic conditions are also like very much variable. Now as we are located, now see, you people are located in Solapur. Now when we talk about the temperatures in say summer, I'm pretty sure like the temperatures are like well beyond 40 degrees Celsius, right? But when you come to a city like say Satara, the temperatures in summer are hardly like 30 and 35 even in the summertime. So you could see like there is like a lot of variation even in the geographical areas. We are situated like very close by, but then there are like very big differences in the temperature. So when you travel to any foreign destination, right, when you travel to a country like England or whether you go to Canada, students are always they always face that cultural issues. At the same time they face that environmental issues. Now when you go to a country like UK, the climatic conditions are not extreme, but I would say the winters last from September until say Jan or February or maybe March, where the temperatures fall below 0 degrees, like -2, -1. London has like an average temperature of around 1 to 2 degrees in winters, but in summertime, say like 4-5 months is cold, but I think 7-8 months are really cool time where you would see summers where the temperatures could be anything between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. So UK is really good to stay in terms of climatic conditions. And these countries do not have like 3 seasons as like what we have. They ideally have 2 seasons, which is like winter and summer. They don't have rainy season. So you could witness rainfalls any time of the year, but just rain, it is a kind of drizzle, which is very heavy drizzle. And then straight away, the water drains out straight away. So you would not see this rainy season to a much extent, but then winter lasts for 3 to 4 months. And then ideally it is followed by a summer where the temperatures could be anything between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. So when you talk about settling into a country, USA has extreme conditions. It is very hot in UK, USA, and it is very cold in USA. So USA has this extreme conditions. You go to a country like Canada, most of the cities in Canada, now Canada is too big, like the population is almost 3.5 CR, and it is like 9 times bigger than India. But when you talk about areas like say Montreal, Vancouver, that is British Columbia and Toronto, these are the safe places and good places to stay. But when you just move on to the northeastern side of Canada, it is very, very cold, where the temperatures could even go to -30 and -40 degrees Celsius. So when you talk about, education option, be very specific, be or try to go to a place where, climatic conditions could suit to your requirement. So I think in the counseling, this is also discussed. When you come there, we discuss this with the student, because we know like there are some countries now, say for example, in USA, you go to Alaska, it is very, very cold. The temperatures are freezing cold, and it is very difficult for a student to take a study program because the temperature even dropped to -10, -20 degrees in that area. So we never prefer those destinations or those locations. But then other countries in Europe, say Germany is again very cold country, but as I said, 4 months is a winter time, 8 months is summer time. But summers are again very peaceful, so you may really enjoy that. It is like, staying in a hill station, just like staying in a hill station. The summers are like something, when you spend a time in a hilly area, you have a cold breeze coming all the day. So that is a kind of summer what you witness in UK, or even in say Italy, or even in say Germany. So 8 months is something what you would have a very pleasant time, but then 4 months are really, really painful. I mean, these are very depressing, to be very honest. In winter, say for example in London, the date starts, I mean, you would see a sunrise somewhere around 8 o'clock in the morning, and the sun would set down somewhere around 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the evening. Okay, so you would see a dark picture outside of your house at 3:30, 4 o'clock. But in summertime, it is a very opposite. The longest day what you could witness is, having a sunrise early in the morning at around 5 o'clock, and sun setting down at around 10:30 p.m. That is night time. So you would really see a sun at 8:45 in the sky. So that is very, very common in London. So you see like there are different conditions, but then it is really enjoying again, because when you go and settle there, I am pretty sure like the students will be able to adapt to the environmental conditions. And you have to do that because it is a foreign destination.
Well, sir, I think it's time to cease the discussion, because we are running very short of time.
Right.
And I hope that if the students have any query, they will personally contact to the extension center of your institution at Solapur,
Right.
and they will definitely get consultation there.
Fine, no problem. That is absolutely okay. And I really thank everyone for, being very attentive and, spending time, and specifically on Sunday. I think Sunday is always a boring day if you ask someone to attend a lecture or a session. But then I think the count was very good, and I really thank the management of the college in arranging this. And I am really, I would say one thing, like it was a very well organized presentation, and it has seen a very good progression. And I really thank everyone for taking a time out on Sunday and attending the presentation. I think I made it a bit longer, but it was important. But on your side, I think it was also, I don't say like it was interesting, but then it was, having options with a lot of information. So I would say that if you want any other information, or if you need any help, our people at Solapur Center are very expert. So please just come down at least once, and you would really see that, your career would have a very right direction after taking a counseling from our center.
Definitely, sir. Dr. V.P. Ubale, sir, the principal of DBF Dayanand College of Arts and Science, is with us, and I call upon him to give presidential remarks on this specific occasion. So over to Dr. P.P. Ubale, sir.
Good evening, one and all. Actually, it is very difficult to give the presidential remarks as I had not attended the total session as I was busy with some examination at the college and then with my personal work. But in the last session, I attended the question answer session and I found that the efforts taken by the Dayanand Competitive Examination Center and Study Abroad Center, that is Learn Overseas, uh, b- by mediation of Vandana Khopkar madam and Mr. Amol sir. Thanks, sir. This is actually the best platform provided by your company. Our students usually or locally from the Solapur are not knowing what are the opportunities to study abroad, why to go there, what are the benefits, how to go there. All these questions are uh, having to the students, but no one is giving right now the correct solutions to the students, and you have performed that duty and you have given the best solutions to the definitely the students which are having interest in such type of education in abroad will remain in contact with the college center as well as with you. Thanks to madam and thanks to Abmol sir. And actually, I would like to give most my appreciation words to Dr. Ranore, RV, SP, Shagalalu, Mushan madam, and all others who are involved in the good organization even on this Sunday. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Students, would you please mute yourself? It is disturbing to the session. Now I call upon at last Dr. S.P. Deshmukh, in charge of placement cell at college, to propose vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. And students, the contact number of concerned people, they are being shared with you. And later on, I will share contact numbers of the say center in charge here in the Solapur. So over to Dr. S.P. Deshmukh, sir.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you. Today we have arranged this webinar series for opportunities in overseas in collaboration with Competitive Exam Center Guidance Cell, in addition Placement Cell, and Learn and Earn Overseas Consulting Limited Solapur. So for that, this webinar, we are very thankful to Mr. Amol Unane sir, who has given the basic information about the learning, and after learning how we are able to get the money and how we have able to accumulate in the foreign country, or how in which way we are uh, think different opportunity in overseas. So first of all, I will thank to them, Mr. Unane sir. Thereafter, I will thank to our beloved principal, Professor Dr. V.P. Ubale sir, because without them, we are not able to conduct such type of program. Thereafter, Mr. Abhijit Gokhale sir and Vandana Kopkar madam, who has given an opportunity to us to conduct such type of webinar. In addition to that, Dr. Rajsekhar Shinde sir, Dr. V.V. Shakalulu madam, and Dr. R.A. Ranore sir, for their valuable supports, or without that this would not be happen. In addition to that, for technical session, Sachin Sonone, who has also put their effort for conducting this webinar smoothly. So at the end, I will thank to all the students and participants for their continuous presence and keen listening about the opportunity in the overseas. So thank you to all of you. Then I will hand it to Mr. Renoro sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to tell the resource person and uh, collaborative members of this webinar. This entire webinar is being recorded, and the recorded part will be shared on YouTube channel of the college, and even on the website of college, and even on Facebook page of the college, so that the students who are affiliated to college, who are unable to join today live, they will take benefit of this webinar later at their own time, and they may be contacting you directly because your contact number is being shared in the slide, and even in message box you have put it. So some students will get it later, and I hope that they will come and join your consulting room, and they will get benefited, and we will be very happy to see our students studying abroad, and Solapur being brighter and brighter in future. And for that sake, this opportunity for youngsters aspiring to go abroad and study, that was a really interesting interaction, presentation, and opening of new vistas in the life of youngsters. So once again, I, on behalf of organizing committee, I extend my gratitude to all of you. And actually, we are on holiday today, so it won't be
Yes, sir.
able to
Yes.
play the national anthem. Actually, this is a tradition of
Yes.
our institution that the
Okay.
session is, it is obviously being ended with national anthem, but due to the lack of proper technical support, we are going to close it instead. So once again, thank to one and all, and with permission of Dr. VP Ubale, the president of this seminar, I declare that this webinar is over here. Sachin Sonone sir, you can stop recording, and we can continue the meeting once you stop the recording.
Yes. Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you from our side.